Well, I have a problem understanding what the difficulty is in looking to the law of God for a norm for civil polity. The difficulty that I have is, if we're Christian, let's not talk about what we know non-Christians don't particularly love God, they don't love what he has to say, but Christians love the Lord. They know Jehovah. They know his goodness. They see his mercy. They know his wisdom. They know that they don't know everything, but they know someone who does know everything. Let's start with that God knows everything. Now let's go back to an idea that we find in the Old Testament. Eden, we lost it through the sin of our first parents. Now God brings a whole nation of people out of bondage. Pretty bad contrast here. I mean stark. Bad isn't stark. Bondage, and he's going to bring them into the glorious freedom of the children of God on earth if they do everything he says. He says it over and again. If you do what I tell you in this land, essentially you're going to have Eden back. It's going to be glorious. There's going to be rain, there's going to be fruit, there's going to be prosperity, there's going to be food, there's going to be people. You won't even have diseases. You're going to be so happy if you do what I say. Now, do we believe that that was the case? Do we believe that it was the case because he would do continued supernatural miracles, or rather because in the law, God was giving his people the keys to living on earth? I think that's not too big a jump to say God gave them the law and love. In fact, Deuteronomy is the book to read on this, because over and again he says, I love you. That's why I'm giving you this law. It's not because I'm setting you up. I'm not looking to trap you. I'm giving it to you because follow this, and that's the way. Okay, now let's bring us to today. We become Christian, our neighbor becomes Christian, our neighborhood becomes Christian. What happens? Even a whole state becomes Christian. Even, in fact, a whole nation. And then we look to each other, we say, I wonder how we should rule our lives. What laws should we have? Now, God has spoken already. He's given a whole body of laws in history to a people that he loved and adopted as his own, that he liberated, not to put them in bondage, but to keep them in freedom. Doesn't it make sense that we should go to that law and apply ourselves to see how it applies in our circumstances today? There'll be difficulties. Their culture was highly agrarian. Ours is highly technological. There are other big differences between us and Israel. But in principle, we should expect that given the wisdom of God, we can find in his law, in his word, those governing ordinances which would lead to maximum freedom, maximum peace, and even maximum prosperity. Prosperity doesn't happen through manipulating God or playing games, hitting the right keys on the keyboard to get a result. It happens by having our Father in heaven tell us what to do. We do what he says, and then in time he blesses us.